Welcome to the Real Turf Techs podcast for the technician that wants to get real. Follow along as we talk to industry professionals and address hot topics that we all face. Along the way, we'll learn tips and tricks. I'm your host, Trent Manning. Let's have some fun. Welcome to the Real Turf Techs podcast, episode 146. Today we're talking to James Breeze, machinery technician at Huddersfield Golf Club in Yorkshire, England. Huddersfield Golf Club is an 18-hole course and one of the oldest and most celebrated courses in north of England. James is the lone tech in the shop. He has mostly Toro equipment. We caught up with James at the 125th U.S. Open at Oakmont. Let's talk to James. Welcome, James, to the Real Turf Techs podcast. We're sitting here at the 125th U.S. Open at Oakmont, and we've been working together for the last few days, and it's been great. We've worked really hard, though. It's been some long hours, starting at 4 a.m. last night, which was Thursday night. We didn't leave till after 11 p.m., so really long hours. But we have the time. I'm just going to sit down and we'll do a podcast. So welcome, James.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. It's an honor to be finally able to actually into the podcast and be interviewed by yourself.
Well, we've tried to get together a couple times in the past, but it's kind of hard with the 5-hour time difference.
Yeah, definitely. We have, and obviously we tried to kind of link up before, and the times and the kind of other conflicts in life just stopped us from doing that. So yeah, it's just nice to when we're together and actually make things happen.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you get into the turf industry?
So I started off in the greenkeeping industry, as usual, do my college level 2 and level 3 in management. Then I kind of graduated to a club where I've currently been 13 years from college. Went through that and kind of where I am now, transactioned into mechanicking. So it's just the whole kind of thing with growing up around sports and being able to work on local sports fields. And that's how I kind of really my into the industry, working at local football and local cricket and just gradually getting through the process of connections and making new friends.
Where did you learn about the machinery? As a kid, were you working on stuff?
I was like a home mechanic, I guess, and then I'm self-taught mechanic until the last couple of years. Then I've kind of gone through the qualification sections of the turf mechanical industry standards, health and safety. I've kind of covered all that, hydraulics, electrics. So kind of qualified as it can be at the moment.
What kind of classes are available in the UK to individuals that are interested in this type of stuff?
Yeah,
even if it's generic, not necessarily.
Yeah, it's kind of independent kind of classes that teach certain subjects. I don't think the schooling is quite as what it used to be for the turf industry right now. So I've done like independent classes through like BTME, trade shows and that kind of thing. And I've kind of gained qualifications over years. And so it's kind of been a graduate kind of way of learning, I guess. And being around the right people that have put me into the right directions has always kind of been the way I work.
Why don't we have a saying over here? It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if y'all say that too or not, but it is true.
Yeah, it is true. 100%. I agree with that. And I think if you put yourself around the right people, it can definitely kind of open doors and head you in the right direction. Then you can progress and the knowledge to be where you want to be.
And I think it's a perfect opportunity to say it right now, since we're at the U.S. Open, about volunteering and networking and how important that is and how many opportunities that open up.
100%. So my story of actually being a volunteer at the 125th US Open is kind of an opportunity that came along through the UK mechanics industry. It was in association with Teacher and Guards, the academy. So it was an application and interview process, which was a video application and into interviews. And obviously, well, we got to come to the US Open, which is an
Yeah.
honor to be here. You know, it's a
Oh,
mind
yeah.
blowing opportunity, which has just took me up to a brand new level in my career.
That's
And
awesome.
networking with guys like yourself and the team here with other volunteers coming in from world class golf clubs. It's just a heaven of networking.
Yeah, it's
So,
been really good.
yeah.
And so it's roughly 2 weeks. The whole thing you got over here like Saturday
Yeah.
advance week.
Yeah. So I was here the Saturday. So I did all pre tournament. And now we're into full tournament flow. And yeah, it's been a real mind blowing experience.
And
Um,
hanging out with Tommy Ritchie, that's a mind blowing experience in
Yeah.
itself.
Tommy Ritchie, yeah, he's a great guy. I didn't know him until I got to the US. But
Oh, well, yes.
I kind of learned very quickly that he's an awesome guy, and he's definitely someone I will kind of stay around and keep connections
Yeah,
with
yeah.
because he's a great guy with a lot of knowledge, but he's got a great personality.
Yeah. He's got a big personality.
Oh, massive
and
personality,
a
yeah.
huge sense of humor.
100%. I agree.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've really enjoyed it for sure.
Yeah.
Hanging out, yeah, with everybody here. And it's no matter what, the course is or what the workshop is, anytime you can go in somebody else's workshop and kind of see how they do things, you can pick up little tips and tricks and
yeah.
stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, you can. It's kind of put yourself in these situations of actually coming to a club that you don't know if they're going to welcome you or not. And my experience here is they'll just welcomed you with open arms.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of that atmosphere that you want around a workshop that everyone just gets on with the job and the results are shown out on the course. And it's an honor and a credit to the guys out there. But for what we do in the workshop is a real kind of experience in a lifetime experience that I'll take away with me and gain and progress on.
Oh, yeah. And well, so Chris, the assistant technician, he said, I don't remember all of it runs together. I don't remember if it was last night or this morning.
Yeah, it's been
But-
a long
He was saying how us in the workshop are not even really communicating. We're just getting it done.
Yeah.
It didn't like you had to say, "Oh, grab that machine. I want to do
Exactly.
this one next. I want to do that one next." It's just when everybody's familiar with working in the shop, you know what needs to be done, and you just do it.
Exactly. I mean, everyone who has kind of been here now a couple of days or a week or so really knows their place. We all have a routine and we kind of swap in between jobs, but we have a flow and it comes down to experience and kind of just a knowledge of knowing each other, good communication in a sense. So, yeah, we're all just like kind of flowing together well in organizations.
Yeah.
So we all know kind of his place in the workshop.
When
What we do.
the amount of machines that are coming through here per shift, I mean, it's just crazy.
Oh, it's
The
unbelievable.
number.
Yeah.
I know I counted up. We had 40 walk mowers. And again, I don't remember if that was this morning or last night. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 40 hand mowers every day,
Every
two
day.
times a day.
Yeah.
Then all the triplex units every morning, every night. It's kind of fairway mowers, everything rough mowers, hand mowers, everything comes in this workshop and goes back out twice a day. It's unbelievably crazy. But we have got to a point where we are smooth at getting things in and getting things out. So it kind of goes pretty much steady and kind of, routine.
Well, even like last night, they a pebble or something or a rock with one of the mowers, and you
Yeah.
pull the reel off, you throw a grind on it, get it back on, and
Yeah,
it's ready to go out.
that's it. I mean, actually, we haven't had too many bad units come in, but that last night was kind of a bad stone or a rock or wherever they said it was kind of gone through it. But yeah, it was pretty gnarly. And it ground out and he turned it around and got it back on and back out.
Yeah, in no
Reset.
time.
Yeah, in no
Right, yeah.
time.
That was
So that was a bit of a change, but yeah, we kind of got it sorted and back into action.
What's your least favorite part of the job?
Oh, when you haven't got anything to do, completed all your
okay.
machines,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you've kind of just got a period of time where you've kind of no machines in, and it's
Mhm.
like I need a challenge, and I need something in just to keep your mind ticking.
Yeah.
So, well, them quiet times, I guess.
Yeah.
But
So you like to stay busy?
yeah, I just like to stay busy. Yeah, I like everything. I like to cover anything electric, hydraulics, and, you know, anything engine work, cylinder grind. I just like to keep busy. That's how I want to progress.
Nothing wrong
I
with
think it's just a passion as well, like people have said, what's the worst, but there isn't really a bad part to the industry. It's how you flow, how you organize yourself, and how you kind of want to progress. And I'm at a point in my career where I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing, and I'm kind of at that top level now where I want to kind of progress forward and learn more at this level.
Yeah.
Take myself even, but give myself a new challenge. So there's hopefully kind of times coming where I'm going to be able to push myself even more.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So, yeah, it's a crazy time, but yeah, it's enjoyable.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. What's your favorite tool?
Favorite tool? It's got to be my snap-on ratchets.
Okay.
Yeah, I love my
Yeah.
snap-on ratchets. It's one of those tools what comes out every day, and it's kind of one of those that you can't do without.
So what makes a snap-on ratchet better than any other ratchet?
Oh, it's just the finesse and
The
the
finesse,
gearing,
the gear,
that fine click that kind of other ratchets don't have. But then, technically, if mechanically we could say a tool is my favorite grinder. I love grinding, and that is kind of the next favorite tool.
Okay.
So yeah, grinders and my ratchets.
All right.
They're the two tools that can pull me through.
What do you do to wind down or find your balance?
Yeah, so out of work, I kind of love the outdoors. It's kind of puts me into a peaceful solitude kind of atmosphere where it takes you out of work mode. You can just concentrate on hiking, mountaineering, trekking. I do a lot of photography, and it just kind of swaps my mind round into a peaceful one out of the rush of life. So yeah, I mean, with the hours that we work, we can soon get kind of tied up in just work, and we kind of forget about ourselves. So I think sometimes it's just to sit back and just think, I just need to get out. And doing the outdoor things and activities that I do just give me that kind of space. That space that I need.
That's really good stuff. Yeah, is there a lot of places in your area?
Yeah, so we are covered by a lot of outdoor locations like the Peak District, going then into the North Yorkshire moors and that kind of moorland scenery. So there's a lot of hiking there. I love mountains as well. So you've got like the Lake District going into the peaks, anything to Scotland. I've travelled the UK, but yeah, I try and stay local as I can into the peaks.
What's been one of your biggest challenges to date?
Well,
and you can't say Tommy.
No. Tommy's a great guy, so I can't count the guy is a brilliant guy. But the biggest challenge is kind of progressing how I have, because it was kind of a hard challenge making the kind of greenkeeping to mechanic transaction, because I grew up as a greenkeeper, but trying to find the balance and the right time to make the transaction to the full-time mechanic was pretty difficult. And I went through a bit of a flat time in my career where I thought it was never going to be. But you kind of find that balance in getting to know people, opening doors, kind of puts you into the right direction. So that's kind of a challenge I had to go through in my career. But I'm kind of in a place now where I'm in where I want to be. But yeah, I grew up as a level 2, level 3 greenkeeper in management, but just wasn't where I wanted to be in my whole career.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make that transaction as soon as possible. And I feel like I'm in the right place now. Kind of belong.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so you kind of worked on the course and in the shop some throughout
Yeah,
your
at
career
times it has.
earlier?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at times I have been on the course, kind of team of 8, where I currently am. So it can get a bit tight when people are on holiday and that kind of thing. So it's a bit stressful, but I run kind of an older fleet of machines. So that's time consuming as well. So I do dominate a lot of my time into the workshop because it is neat to keep the maintenance up on these old fleet.
Yeah,
But
how old is your fleet?
anything from 2018 to 15-year-old machines.
Okay.
You know, I'm running a pretty old fleet,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of maintenance. Yeah, it's tough at times,
Oh yeah.
but
And you're the only person in
yeah, I'm the only
shop?
mechanic. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So it's only a small workshop, and it's one of those things that I am trying to kind of progress and try to build plan where maybe we expand or we can organize things a little bit better and down the line to something a little bit better than what we have. But that's in the future, I guess, and only time will
So
tell with that.
when you get back, are you gonna ask for a 6,000 square foot shop like they have here at
It will be
Oakmont?
nice. I mean, I've got plenty of pictures.
Yeah, a
It's going to
couple
be
of lifts.
inspiring to take these pictures back and actually see what we can do. But yeah, I don't think that will be happening. But
Yeah,
it'll
yeah.
definitely be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit bigger workshop would be possible, but I'll see when I get back.
Yeah, yeah. What's been one of the strangest things you've seen on the golf course?
Oh,
Good stories.
yeah, there's been quite a few weird things happening, but I mean, one that stands out is we have quite a lot of public and kind of thing walking through the golf course, I guess, with dog walkers and kind of thing. So we do get a few gnarly figures and people walking through when they shouldn't be. And there's been quite a few things putting down the line
Okay.
that shouldn't have happened and that, you know, but yeah, I don't know if I can go into too much
Okay.
detail on
fine.
that, but
That's okay.
I've seen some crazy stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens with public footballs.
So yeah, how does that work? Is that and that's a pretty common thing in the UK where it's like a park and a golf course type?
No, so the golf course where I'm situated is actually based on an estate. So it's an estate owned bit of land with the golf course on which is out on a rental kind of agreement from many years ago. So the public footpath is to do with the local government, which has kind of put it through, has always been there. So it's just open to the public,
Okay.
kind of to walk one end to the other to get access to different locations,
Okay.
I guess. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
always been there, but it can be crazy at times, some of the things you see
Oh
and
yeah.
the
I can
people,
only
the
imagine.
characters that come. So, but there's lots of loose dogs and chasing golf balls and people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a mentor in the industry?
Yeah. It's pretty weird because I grew up in the greenkeeping world and you kind of see all these mechanics when you're growing up. And one guy that does stand out to me is used to be kind of a mechanic when he moved into the Toro dealership. And now he works for Bernard's, and that is Stuart Hall.
Okay.
Stuart Hall is someone that I've followed throughout my career and watched how he does things. And now I'm actually a good friend of Stuart's.
Oh,
I can
great.
ring him, he kind of help me out when I'm needed.
Yeah.
Not just kind of grinding stuff, but good advice throughout the industry. He's kind of helped me in different ways. So yeah, he's a great guy to be around.
It's always great to have someone like that,
Yeah.
phone a
Oh,
friend type
100%.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And from what I've experienced, is you call someone and you're talking through whatever problem you're working on, and they might not give you the solution, but sometimes it gets you thinking in a different direction, if
Yeah.
you will, and that ends up bringing a solution.
Oh, 100%. This industry is all about making things happen, and solutions are the answer. There's never a time where you think this isn't going to work. There's always an answer for something. It's just you've got to work it out. And even if you have to ask questions, that's how it is. You've got to ask questions if you don't know. And there's certain people in the industry that I trust to answer those and advise me and help me along.
Yeah.
But I do like to work things out myself. That's how I learn a lot quicker. I can work things out from there and progress forward. And yeah, it's pretty. It's been tough at times, but yeah, I'm like self-taught, so it's taken a lot of time to kind of but I'm pleased that I've done it how I have.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so Seth Sheldon was here earlier this week, and I remember him saying when I interviewed him that he'll spend about 5 minutes on trying to figure out a machine, and he's picking up the phone, calling somebody, because it's easy to spend half a day troubleshooting an electrical problem. And you could pick the phone up and call the guy down the road, and he had the exact same problem, a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
And he says,
yeah,
"Oh, it
that's
was
true.
this,"
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I think it's hard for a lot of us to check our pride at the door and pick that phone up
Yeah,
and call somebody. And I know I struggle with that. And it's not, for me, I don't think it's as much the pride thing, it's the challenge.
yes.
So the machine's down. I want to figure out why, not that I'm too good to rely on somebody else,
That's
but
it.
I like the challenge
Yeah.
of
I
solving
mean,
the problem.
yeah, the challenge is kind of the thing that I love, and coming into it how I have, it's always been a challenge. So it doesn't faze me at all. That's how I learn. And that's how you learn the best, by making mistakes, finding the faults, learning, progressing. But never be afraid to pick up the phone if you have
Oh,
to.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got, like I say, good connections that I can always ring if I need bits of advice, and I'll never be afraid to pick up that phone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't ask questions, you progress. There's some great people in the industry, and they're always willing to help. So use them wisely. But I always try and kind of do things myself and get to a point where if I need to, I will.
Yeah.
You
No, and I think that's a good point too about use people wisely. And not that you can't pick up the phone and call, whoever you want to call. But he ended up being a good friend. But when I was working for the Toro distributor, when I first met this gentleman, all his equipment was on a lease package and it was a year old. So if anything happened, he would call me.
Yeah.
And I got to the point, we learn each other enough. I mean, he's really busy, other things, whatever, and I get that. But he would call and he said, "This machine won't start." And I would say, "Is the battery good?" Well, I hadn't checked. Well, could you at least check and see if the battery's good before I drive 4 hours to your place and you need a battery?
That's it. Yeah, it's like
I'm happy to warranty whatever you need, but I don't want to spend the time driving over there for some really simple thing.
Yeah, I think like batteries, and when it comes to like the basic fundamentals, I think that should be just the first things that you do check. The fundamentals are basics.
Yeah.
And I guess not everybody has that, but is easy to pick up the phone and ask. If you can guide someone on the phone, then it kind of helps them out a little bit. But then if you have to progress to go and visit them and help them out, then do so. But I am a big believer of trying to solve things yourself and really learn from it. That's how I've gone about my career.
Yeah.
Self-taught, kind of then going into the qualifications that I've got now. And yeah, I'm always learning. Well, yeah, it's a funny old industry because, you always find people that do want to help, and you always find the odd one or two that are really secretive about kind of wanting to help you. But yeah, it's really panned out well for myself.
That's one thing that, I mean, obviously I really love about the industry is how helpful everybody.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
it's pretty rare that
Yeah.
you meet somebody that
Mm.
won't help.
That's it. I
You
mean,
know, it's rare.
it is rare. I have probably come across a few people that very wary, kind of don't want to give you the answers that you need. But yeah, you kind of soon work people out and see who wants
Yeah.
to be there and who
Yeah.
you want to put in your group, really. And you kind of build around that group then, because these connections from long-time friends as well.
Oh,
And
yeah, for sure.
they can be there a whole career for you, helping each other out. And that's what it's about, helping each other.
Yeah.
I really find that, you get into a certain group of people and the communities can be built are really super kind of positive. And, that positive thinking goes a long way between a good group of people.
Yeah. And I think it is important to surround yourself by the right people.
Oh, 100%. But the whole positivity thing and inspirational kind of side of the industry really needs to be pushed more, I think, because there is times when it is difficult and you do need the right people around you to kind of progress.
Yeah. Yeah. And just trying to keep it positive.
Yeah.
Because most of the information we get on a daily basis is negative.
Oh,
This
100%.
machine is broke, or that
Yeah.
machine's broke, or I did this,
I
I
mean-
did that, whatever.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the whole point of being a mechanic is you are there to fix these problems. They are negative things, but if you look at it in a positive way, that you're the person fixing it and there's always a solution to fixing that machine, the world can be a better place in a positive mind. Keep a positive mindset and just keep moving forward. And that's, I think, one of the greatest things I've learned is just to keep positive, keep my head down, just keep doing what I do.
That's good
and do
stuff.
it to my best ability. And that's, it's an honor to be here at home. And that's kind of praise to myself, I guess, because that's what's got me here. My dedication to what I do, my inspiration and motivation.
Right.
That's what I love.
Yep.
And I hope I can finally pass that on to the next guys behind me.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And that's going back a little bit about just giving the answer. So the guys I got working in the shop for me, when they ask me a question, I try to make them think about the answer instead of just giving them the answer. Because you don't learn anything.
No,
if
you
somebody
don't.
just gives you the answer.
Exactly. I mean, somebody could give you the answer, but if you help them work it out, give them a little bit of guidance to get to the right point, but let them do the work. I think that is kind of the best way to teach someone who is kind of coming up in the industry. Be a guidance to them, but don't give them too much in the answers. Just let them work it out, but always be there and surround them with, the right tools, the right positivity. So, make them think that part of the team.
For sure. So the guy that helps me in the shop, he was texting me this week. We got a fairway mower that wouldn't start, and he thinks maybe it's a battery. He thinks maybe it's a connection, but he's hearing the starter click, and then he does some more testing, and the starter had stopped clicking. And he's doing more electrical testing, trying to figure this out. And I'm trying to help him through it. And the fuse is blown at the start. So he takes a fuse from another machine to then solenoid is clicking again. And anyway, it gets me thinking, I'm like, where was the machine when it stopped working? It was on the wash pad.
Yeah.
I said, what did the operator say? Oh, it was sitting there running and I was washing it off and it just turned off.
Mm.
And I said, will the engine turn over? You take a wrench and turn it back
Yeah.
and forth. And he tried that, won't budge.
Okay.
I said, okay, I'm pretty sure the sprayed water in the intake, the engine is locked up.
Well, that's
and
it.
that is why it will not start.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but anyway, this young man, he spent 2 days troubleshooting this thing and he probably learned some valuable lessons.
Oh,
going through that.
Yeah. And sometimes that's how you learn the most. You know, these little mistakes that you make take you a long way in actually getting the answers.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Right, right.
and yeah, you're progressing and you don't learn by not making mistakes. I think it's critical part of actually progressing in this career.
I definitely think that is the way we learn.
Yeah.
So the next time he hears the solenoid click and
That's
the
it.
engine not turn
Yeah,
over, he's
yeah.
going to see if the engine will turn
That's
over
it.
by hand
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
before
with
he goes
that,
any
yeah.
further.
That's it.
So no, I mean it's good. I definitely loved trying to help train the next generation
Yeah.
of technicians coming up, and that's one of the most, in my position, and as long as I've been in the industry, that is one of the most rewarding things is trying to teach these younger guys some of the knowledge that was passed on to me from my mentors.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big part of what we do. I think without that, we're kind of delving ourselves into a declining or even a more declining career. We don't actually put out the word of this is a great career to be in, and you actually progress, be at some of the best clubs in the world or whatever kind of industry dealerships or clubs you're at. This is kind of a great part of the industry to be in, because without mechanics, you haven't got the golf clubs, the football clubs, the sports clubs. You need mechanics.
Oh,
But yeah, it's definitely something that we need to push more in this industry. And my aim is to kind of bring advise, I guess, bring through the next generation the best I can. Because I guess I learned the hard way, but I want to pass what I've learned, what I am learning onto the next guys.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's through what I'm doing with Bernard's Academy or if it's kind of myself, I always try and inspire. And that's kind of how I work.
Yeah, that's great. It is really good stuff.
Supercharge course maintenance with Task Tracker, the leading golf course maintenance software in the industry. Built for precision and efficiency, Task Tracker simplifies daily operations, optimizes water usage, and keeps your team on track. With real-time updates and streamlined workflows, it's the essential tool for modern superintendents. Learn more at www.clubessentials.com/task tracker. Let's get back to the episode.
What would be your dream job or opportunity?
Oh, wow. I think staying in the golf industry, but it's one of the top 100 golf clubs in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of a dream to be at the creme of golf clubs.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the world, wherever that will take me. But yeah, I want to progress over time and just keep steady and just be the best that I can.
Yeah.
And
That's
I know that the
attitude.
ability is there. I just need to kind of get there, however that ever will work for me.
Well, I think, I'm not going to say it's easy, but if you have a strong work ethic and you're willing to learn, and you do some volunteering, you get out of your comfort zone, you do some networking, you can literally go anywhere in the world you want to go.
Yeah.
In this industry.
I agree. I mean, volunteering is a massive part of what we do to gain experience. For example, working here this week, surrounding ourselves with some of the best in the world. And there's been some names and people come through this workshop from the top 50 in the world.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so it's kind of surrounding yourself with those people, picking their brains, gaining contacts, making friends.
Yep.
It's kind of always there, and that is the one way you progress.
Yep.
And I've learned a lot in the 2 weeks that I've been here, and I am still learning. Well, I am still here, and it's an opportunity that I'll never forget. It's a life-changing opportunity which I will progress on.
You have a technician you would like to work with for
I have many technicians in mind. There's a lot of my friends who I've kind of connect with every day, but yeah, if I ever had the chance, I'd come back to the US and maybe work with you. Actually surround myself with what you do day in, day out, because I always follow what you do. And is a little bit kind of a different way of how we work, being the European side of mechanicking. The US seems to have a broader kind of spectrum when it comes to organization, workshop design, the size of workshops, and the kind of respect mechanics get. The US, it seems to be like we need a mechanic at our golf club, where in the UK it can be very hard to convince clubs that a mechanic is needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yourself, definitely kind of someone who I'd love to come and spend some time with and actually work with.
Oh, well, yes, thank you. And you are welcome anytime.
Oh, yeah.
You get over here. And that goes for anybody else listening. If you're in the Atlanta area, hit me up. Happy to come by my shop. And depending on how long you want to stay, we can go by some other shops.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That'll be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that will be really awesome.
Because we are fortunate in the Atlanta market. Or Atlanta Metro. There's some really nice clubs going on. Yes, it is. It is.
We're here.
He is the best.
I am.
Yeah.
How you boys doing?
We're good, man.
Go out to see the golf?
No.
It's up. Man.
Is it? Madhouse out there.
When we go out there.
Okay.
It's true.
Yeah, it's funny.
Eat it out? No?
I don't know.
Crocs are there.
Okay. His Crocs are there. That's funny. Well, I totally derailed us. Let's see. What do you know now you wish you'd done on day one?
Oh, yeah. Kind of jumped in it without knowing anything, I guess. And I've kind of learned from the bottom up to where I am now. So a lot of things kind of stand out. Just, I wish I'd kind of had a mentor, I guess, originally, who would have been there to just guide me, because when you're doing it on your own, it's kind of a little difficult at times until you get to know people. So I wish I had that one person originally there just to guide me, but kind of made it happen myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just little things like that, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I think it's important to have that one person that you can trust, but I didn't have that when I originally started. So, I've learned the hard way. I've made it work, and this is what I'm at.
Hey, you made it.
You
literally made it to the US Open.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which is incredible. Such a cool experience.
Get ready for tips and tricks.
What kind of tips and tricks you got you want to share?
Can it be grinding? I mean, I
It
love
could be
grinding.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, but these little things I picked up with grinding, and it's just like, fundamentals of setup. It's just really simple little things. Just be organized. Settings, have it written down. So kind of jog back through your notes. I write everything down now. So I write all my angles down, and write all my bed names. So angles, so I don't get confused to where I am. It's John Deere, Toro. I handwrite everything so I know that it's there in print.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just make lots of notes. I think making notes is one of the most important things we can do, because those notes can be with you forever.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of something that I really work by. So that's the main kind of thing that I want to pass on. Really nail down, organize yourself, and be around a tidy workshop. It If you're not, you can get really out of hand and you become very unorganized in your workflow, your routines, and you end up kind of losing track with a lot of stuff. But,
Yes.
but
Yeah, if
yeah,
you spend 5 minutes looking for a wrench that
yeah,
should be in the
that's
toolbox,
it. And then I can
that
progress
adds
into being
up
an
quickly.
hour,
Right.
You're just looking for tools all the time. So I'm big into organization. Kind of, I like a nice, tidy tool chest. I like tools organized and so I know exactly where they are.
Yep.
Little things like that. But yeah, it's more organization and just make sure you've got notes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way I kind of work. That's how I've always learned.
No, I think that's excellent tip for anybody, whether you've been for a long time or you're just starting out. And I think John Patterson says it doesn't cost anything to pay attention.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Yeah. Pay attention. Kind of never be afraid to say, to jump in with questions. I always like being asked questions because around people that are new to the industry, it really shows interest and commitment. You can teach them, they're asking questions, and then you know that they're willing to learn. I think that's really important to kind of say, if you surround yourself with new people that are in the industry that are willing and dedicated, can go a long way. And we need a lot more people in this industry like that come through and pass the information that we all have locked away, really.
Yeah.
And pass it on. There'll be some great people out there which have years and years of knowledge. And once they're gone and that knowledge is gone. So now we need to start passing it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a crazy old world when you've got these mechanics around the world and these top world-class guys, and if you haven't got anything to pass it on to anybody to take that knowledge away, it's just lost.
Yeah.
We really need to pass it on. That's a major factor of why I want to inspire new guys and actually pass what I've learned on.
And if you don't ask a question, they don't know to give you the answer.
No, exactly. Yeah,
they don't know what you know.
That's it.
And for some of us, we don't want to just tell everything, and bore people. If you already know this information, you might not want to hear it again.
100%.
So-
And I like to think that the people that want to learn and be around you will be around you for a long time. Really want to pick your brain, and those people that really wants to pass you information on. And I always look at people and I always try and let people out before I do that because I don't want to be kind of taking on people under my wing.
Yeah.
And kind of passing the information on, which is never going to go anywhere. There's sometimes guys that come through and you think you're not dedicated, or there's sometimes complications and wanting to do it because they haven't made their mind up. I'm very committed and I'm willing to help, but I also need the right person to take on my wing to do so. I need to see that dedicated and I want to learn, progress like I am.
Yeah, if you don't have a willingness to learn, it's hard to teach something.
Exactly. That's the kind of theory that I work by. It's really difficult to kind of work with someone who hasn't got the same mindset as yourself and willingness to learn.
Yeah.
So that's how I've always looked how I want to go about teaching what I know.
Right. Any other tips or tricks?
I learned electrics pretty late into my mechanical kind of career, and I am self-taught in the electrical mechanical side. Then I did my qualifications, but a little tip that I found is always mark your wires up with colored tie-wraps. It's simple, but when you've undone your kind of wires and you fit new looms, just indicate your wires. Just colored tie wraps. It always works.
Okay, yeah.
It kind of stops the confusion of stripping something down and then, oh boy, I'm stuck. I don't know where wires go. Just put colored tie wraps on.
I like that color Yeah, tire wraps. I do have different color electrical tape that I've used, but I really like the tire wrap because
Yeah.
it's quick and easy.
I think I have tried the tape and it kind of gets a little bit bulky, I guess, when you're
Yeah.
working with fine wires.
Right,
So
right.
I have all different sizes from small to large colored tapes. Just mark the colors and write it down, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
never
that's
failed me.
cool.
So
No, that was a good idea.
it's a
I
good
like it.
tip to pass on to the
Yes.
guys who are learning electric.
That is a really good one. Let's talk about the academy
Hmm.
and how you got here.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah, just like walk me through that process.
Yeah. So the opportunity came along with that academy in association with like Tito Group.
Okay.
So the group has been running for years now, and it's a group built by Chris Minton, James Wilkinson, and Matthew Axton.
Yep.
3 incredible guys in themselves,
Mm-hmm.
and they just created this community on WhatsApp, which has brought a lot of guys into the learning part of the industry. Guys probably couldn't have access to knowledge without it. Guys who probably don't have mechanics at times and they're trying to help themselves and fix things. But yeah, it came from the teacher group and it came from the academy. So the process was application, then a video application, and I know the interview process was video interview and what applications to be kind of accepted, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got through to the final 3, and then that's how I progressed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, came along pretty quick, and kind of had to grab it with both hands. It was something I wanted to use for myself to progress. You know, it's a weird thing that I hadn't then. I would have probably regretted it. So I wouldn't be here today.
Right, right.
So yeah, I had to grab it and actually show my commitment and where I want to be in the industry.
So what else has happened since you're here?
Yeah.
Will you have other responsibilities after this?
Yeah. So there is the math of actually being at the US Open. So there's going to be talks happening, kind of interviews and the whole promotional kind of side of it. But yeah, there is talks at shows and that kind of thing.
Well, the Real Turf Techs is really on the cutting edge here because we're interviewing you before you're being interviewed.
That's it, exactly. So it's actually nice to kind of be interviewed by yourself and just put out some talks going to be happening.
No, that's cool.
You know,
yeah,
which actually is the first one is being made by Bernard Academy, the Bernard factory. So that's a brilliant start, and that's the perfect place for me to actually make my debut as, you know, a talker and see how it goes.
That's awesome.
From that to the big shows. So yeah.
Are you comfortable talking in front of a group?
Yeah, it's kind of a new adventure for me. So it's going to be a challenge, a good challenge, which I'm kind of accepted. And I will just keep my head down and do the best that I can. I'm passionate about what I do, and put yourself around the right kind of mechanical minded people who want to listen. Yeah. I think you'll all go fine.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
that'll be fine.
Yeah. We're all in it. I guess we're all in it together in this industry, and the guys that'll be there are wanting to learn. And I've got a big story to tell from myself coming into the industry and the whole Oakmont West Open. You know, I've got a lot to do, so I'm looking forward to what comes in the future. Yeah.
It's going to be good things for you. Good things are going to come for James. That's awesome.
That's how I never dreamt it, but I knew it would happen, I guess, at one day, and I'm living it. So
that's awesome.
It's
living the dream.
I'm living the dream.
You are. That is good.
It's been a real good process. I've made progression, and I know where I want to be, and I'm at that level now where I'm there. So it's time will tell.
It's awesome.
Well, this is going to be a little different. We're going to do some rapid fire, and I'm going to be curious to what your answers are. So, what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie. It's got to be the Fast and Furious series.
Okay, all right, all right. I'm familiar with
car
that.
fanatic. I
Yep.
do like my cars.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
Fast and Furious.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
What would be your last meal?
All right, it's got to be Yorkshire pudding, onions, and gravy.
Yeah, see, this is where I have no idea.
This is
What
like
what
proper
is
Yorkshire traditional food.
what is Yorkshire pudding?
A Yorkshire pudding is a Yorkshire pudding. It's
Well,
very
I know
hard to describe.
What else in this
it
Yorkshire
is.
pudding?
It's a floury base kind of puffed up pudding.
Okay.
We could give you the recipe if you want.
Right.
I mean,
So is it like gravy?
Yeah, no.
So we
you have the
experienced-
gravy in it. It's like a
Okay.
dish. Make them into this bowl-shaped kind of pudding.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
beautiful Yorkshire traditional food
All right. Well,
from the hearts of England.
if I get over, I'm definitely try this out
I
for
think
sure.
we could definitely go out and to a pub and have a proper meal.
Okay.
Some proper Yorkshire.
Okay. What are you most proud of besides your family?
My
Those
achievements in
Yeah.
life. I
Yeah.
think my achievements in life are kind of some of the proudest times. You know, heartwarming times that I've had because it's kind you never put yourself forward, think times, and you kind of forget about yourself a little bit. But what I've achieved is a massive part of my life, my career, where I want to be. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's trying to
So
give
good.
myself a little bit of pride and just,
Yeah.
you know,
You
sometimes
deserve a
you
pat on
forget.
the back for sure.
Exactly, yeah. That's,
That is awesome. So good. Anything else you want to
well,
talk about?
well, we're at the US Open, so yeah, it's an incredible kind of time meeting yourself and the other guys. And I think just keep on pushing, you know, pushing forward. And
Yeah.
just yeah, be yourself, level-headed, and just be yourself.
I would say get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, push yourself out of
Right.
your comfort zone. Yeah.
You get out of your
That's
comfort
it.
zone, and some good things can
The
happen.
challenges are always there, but there's always answers to a challenge. So yeah,
for sure.
there's always solutions.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Yeah, it's
and,
been a pleasure.
doing this. Yeah, no, it's been.
It's-
And for me, this is obviously my favorite part. Is this interview, and it's so much better to do it in person
yeah,
versus
100%.
on the computer
Well,
and then all those things.
That's it. I mean, we tried doing this before Christmas. We tried to do the first interview, and then the time.
Yeah,
work
busy.
Kind
Yeah.
of routine got in the way, and then we finally met for the first time. And we're finally doing it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been an honor. It's
Awesome.
been an honor talking.
Well, thanks so much.
Oh yeah, thank you, Trent.
Thank you so much for listening to the Real Turf Techs podcast. I hope you learned something today. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any topics you would like to discuss or you'd like to be a guest, find us on Twitter at Real Turf Techs. See you bye.